The thing that I know about you is, what I remember when I first came here. You were such a hard worker. I'd see you out.
I done my share.
You did so much hard work.
Yeah.
And tell us about that business of yours. It's called Yardbird, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when I used to work for an outfit called Turner and Vogel. They came down here and they built Sparks Avenue and they redid the Hummock Pond Road and they redid another thing. So I worked for him for about a year. When they got ready to go to Falmouth, he said, "Manny, we'd like to take you over there with us." I said, "I'll go." So I went. And in the meantime, I always cut a few lawns, you know what I mean, on the side. Now, when I came home weekends, I cut my lawns and stuff. Then I worked for them for about 2 years when I got married. And my wife says to me, it's either Turner and Vogel or me. Which is it?
Oh.
I said, so I had to give up the Turner and Vogel job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You were spending way too much time over there.
And then I got really involved in the lawn business, Then I had a few choice customers, like Mrs. McCrae and Mrs. Harris and Mrs. Sanford, Mrs. Rayleigh up on the cliff, and a few nice customers, and they kept me busy.
Yeah.
And I built my lawn cutting up business. I had 65 lawns at one time, cutting lawns, you know what I mean?
65?
65.
You weren't doing it all yourself?
Not by myself. Yeah. I had 2 or 3 guys work with me. So then we went from there, and we did that for, 20 years or so. And then my kids grew up, and I gave Kenny the lawn business because the telephone company asked me if I would do the underground work on Nantucket. Wow, I said that was quite a thing, to be asked that, So they put out a contract, and I had a couple of guys help me that worked for the phone company. They were engineers that do, and so I started working for them. I don't know when it was, 60 or 70 or something, 70, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I worked for them for 22 years up until 2010. And then they got all upset because I wrote a letter of retirement in for them, and all that. So when are we going to get to do this? I said, well, there's other people on the island as good as I am and do the same work. Well, we don't think so. I go, well, okay, but I got to get through. Because my heart was starting to bother me.
When was that?
That was in 2010.
Oh, jeez.
Early 2010.
Gosh, Manny. How old are you now?
89.
Unbelievable.
I was born
You are one tough guy.
I was born
89.
June 5th,
You worked right up until that age.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
June 5th, 1924, I was born.
How do you feel right now?
Good.
Feeling good?
Yeah, really good.
Jeez.
Yeah. Then in 2010, I had a heart operation.
Yeah.
All right. That slowed me down for about maybe 6 or 8 months.
And now, what else did you do? I mean, you're not only Yardbird, but what else you do?
I don't know. I do all kinds of things in the shop,
You make baskets, right? You still doing that?
Yes, yeah. You'll see when we bring you back. I was in the service for 4 years, I was in the Army. I was in the Army Anti-Aircraft Battalion for a couple of years. And then the Army went to the Air Force, and they transferred a bunch of us to the Air Force. And we were the 8th and 9th Air Force that went to Europe.
Oh, wow.
8th over in England,
wow.
And 9th over in Europe. And then the war was over and I came back home and did this and that, worked for a few other people, and this and that.
Yeah.
And then we went off and got married.
Now, how did you meet your wife?
I met her when I worked for the construction company in Martha's Vineyard.
Was she from Martha's Vineyard?
She's from Martha's Vineyard. She's from Mayortown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we,
And how old were you when you met her?
I was 33.
All right.
Yeah.
That was old back then,
yeah,
though, wasn't it? For
that was
getting married?
there's a gap between us. You know.
She's a young woman.
She's 30. She's 75 now, and I'm 89. But it was just one of them things, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, we just
That
held
is
around
awesome.
and got to know each other and all
And
that.
how did you?
kind of-
Were you working on a job or?
We were doing Town, Vineyard Haven Road. over
And
there.
what she see? She saw this macho man working hard and said,
She was a waitress in a restaurant.
"Ah." So you went in there for a little bit
Where we at?
of lunch or something.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
that was great.
Did it take a while for you to decide that you wanted to marry her?
Yeah,
Did
we
you-
went together about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you do? Bring her over here sometimes, or
Yeah,
Or
she
were you-
came over here. She came over here 2 or 3 times.
was that a hard sell for her to try to
No,
get used to?
no. I think it was hard for her to leave her family because they come from a big family over there, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was kind of hard, but she got used to it and knowing people and stuff like that. And she finally got acclimated to the thing, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. And Nantucket. You know how it is when you first come down here. You don't know anybody. You're kind of isolated, you know. Well, you kind of get used to being isolated after a while.
Well, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
So those early
Yeah.
years.
I think you get the Nantucket salt air in your veins,
Yeah.
and it's hard to get rid of, you know.
So do you go anywhere else, or is this do you try? Do you have another house? Like a lot of people go to Florida or something in the wintertime.
Well, we used to go to Florida for years and years and years.
For years you went.
Yeah, and then we went during the 70s. It was, maybe during the 80s. A friend of mine, John Arnett, from New Bedford, him and I, and Elaine and Nat, took a trip. We took a trip from where we were stationed in the service over Germany, from Sicily, you know, back to Katz, France, right? And we stopped at all the places that we were stationed at on the way back.
Oh wow.
That was fun.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then the next time we went to Portugal, to Madeira Island,
Yeah.
and stayed a couple of weeks. And
I've always wanted to go there. Yeah.
yeah, a couple of years after that, went back to Madeira again. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And this and that. Yeah, it was fun. And, you know, it was fun.
So now what do? You were always busy though, right? Is that kind of your you can't stay still? Is that
I don't, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment. You know what I mean? I have a yard that takes
Oh
full
God,
time.
by the way. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't think there's a nicer yard.
It's a constant care, you know what I mean? Each year I'm going to do less, and each year it doesn't work that way. I get just as much, if not more, to do.
What is it? Is it the planting that takes up the time, or is it the...
Well, it's the planting and the deadheading in this, and you know all the stuff. You know, fertilizing,
Yep.
seeding, raking, cutting the lawn, and all that. It's you know, it's a constant chore, but now it's starting to get to me. You know what I mean?
You may have to hire somebody to do it, you mean?
I have a couple of kids come in on Saturday and help me.
All right.
I just,
Yeah.
you know, the age, this is okay, you know,
Yeah.
but the physical doesn't work.
No, I got you. But boy, I'll tell you, what if you hadn't worked as hard as... Do you think you'd be still in it? If you didn't work as hard as you did for so
I'd
many
probably
years.
be dead.
I mean, you physically,
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing anybody work as hard. You're an inspiration when I was younger to
Yeah.
people that... I mean, I'd see you out there digging ditches yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I dug plenty of them. Dug plenty of pits for the telephone company too.
Jeez, Manny.
Plowed in miles of cable for them.
So,
You know?
all right, so you're a basket maker. You're
Yeah.
kind of famous for your baskets. You're
Yeah.
going to show me those when we get to the place a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. But you also are a clerk of the court. Is that the right title? You're the guy when we vote What is that considered?
I've been running the ballot. I've been working at the polls for 50 years.
50 years.
I started when John F. Kennedy got elected president.
Wow.
I've been working there for 50 years, over 50 years at the polls. I've come right up the ladder, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm a warden at the polls and run the ballot box. Jim Perlman and I run the ballot box.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for years.
What's the story behind the ballot box? When you say you run it?
Well, we make sure that all the ballots get in. All right.
Yeah.
And we're there if people need help. The machine is all automatic.
Right.
And once in a while, if it gets over 1,500 to 2,000 ballots, depending on the size of them, we have to empty out the machine, put it in a safe box, and then start over again, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the older people make mistakes on the ballot. Rather than send them back, we put them on the side pocket, and they have to be hand counted, okay?
Yeah.
Because the machine won't take it, you know? The machine doesn't take signatures. It doesn't take, you know, if you make mistakes on the ballot, you know?
Right.
A lot of times when people come up and they make mistakes, I send them back. Not to be mean, but so when they come next time, they'll recognize what they do. A lot of people put checks on the ballot. You can't put checks on them. You got to oval them in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
A lot of people don't do that. So I send them back. A lot of them get mad at me, but, you know, it saves it on the other end that the girls don't have to hand count it.
Yes.
You know?
And so you're doing that. What else do you do with your time? I mean,
Don't ask me, please. I really don't know.
You just work.
I just, you know,
just
I
like
go
to work.
from one thing to another. You know, in the shop, I usually work outside all morning long. And then I go in the shop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when we get back to your place, I'm going to be very interested to see your style of basket making.
I have all my own styles. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
know.
Everybody has their own style of basket that they make. You know, I like to make open baskets, okay, rather than lidded baskets.
You like open ones?
I myself, I rather make open baskets than lidded baskets.
Oh, okay.
But I do make both, okay?
Yeah.
Both lidded and...
How difficult is that at this age to do? I would think that, you know, your hands would be a
my
little...
hands are very flexible yet.
They still are?
Yeah, very flexible.
Right,
Yeah.
lucky.
And my shoulders are fine, you know what I mean? I can't lift my right arm above my shoulder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I go up slow,
Yeah.
so
you'll
I
get
went
there.
up and tried to have it operated on, and I went into the doctor's office at Mass General and talked to the doctor about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to ask you one question. I want you to answer me truthfully. He does it bother you at night when you go to sleep? I said, no. He wrote out a thing, he said, goodbye, you don't need my operation.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
I got a knee like that. And
Oh,
it
really?
hurts me. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt at night.
Yeah,
It hurts if I don't move it.
I see.
If I keep moving it, it's
see.
okay. But if
I
I
see.
stay in one position,
Yeah.
crunched
Well,
up,
as long as you keep
it tightens
going.
up. Yeah,
As long as you keep it going, it's fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What a tour, huh?
Yeah, well, let's go look at your shop.
No, come on.
We're right
Welcome.
here, right? What
Yeah.
a spot.
Not a
Jeez.
problem.
And you always decorate it every season, don't you?
Yeah.
For Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You do a wonderful job.
Yeah, I try.
So that's your house.
That's well, both of them houses are mine over there.
Over there too?
And then I own this one here.
Yep.
And then the shop. And my cars are in the shop. My antique cars are over there in the shop.
Oh, geez, let's go look at all this stuff. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
All right.